Welcome, everyone. You all know me, but I'll reintroduce myself. I am Paula Gaviria from the Office of Early Childhood. I'm the Childcare Program Director. Kristen McSwain, our Executive Director, couldn't make it today. She says hi. She wishes she were here, but she had another boring meeting instead of this one. So, without further ado, for those of you that do not know the Office of Early Childhood, we are a very new office, a team of 3. So Farah is our operations manager. She gets things running smoothly. And we are here to provide support to family childcare providers like yourselves and create connections with wonderful organizations out there that have amazing opportunities. So today we invited the Care That Works pilot because they have been working with a group of family childcare providers to provide non-standard hours. And they're looking for more family childcare providers that are interested. So we thought we would host this info session together so you can get more information, see if you're eligible.
Informações para ver se você tem, participa y você qualifica.
Se pueden poner en contacto con ellos. Muchas gracias por estar aquí.
Over to Helen, who will guide you through a presentation about the work they're doing. And see, Helen, take the floor. Hi.
Yeah, thank you, Paula. I'm Helen. Hi, everyone. Helen Barrios. I am the program coordinator for Care That Works. I am going to start sharing my screen with the presentation. And I will be presenting with my trusted friend and coworker, Alejandra Tejeda, who is part of 509. Alejandra, would you like to introduce yourself before I start presenting?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Alejandra Tejeda. I'm the Family Childcare Coordinator at SEIU Local 509. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Okay. All right, so as Paula mentioned, we are Care That Works, and this is our non-standard hours childcare pilot program. So what is Care That Works? Care That Works is a coalition of unions and community organizations convened by Community Labor United that represents families and childcare providers. We are seeking to crush the childcare barrier for parents who are entering or working in construction union careers. So the pilot program has 2 parts of it. There's the parent side and the provider side. So in the pilot program, family child care providers that open early between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. and have at least 1 child in the early morning care receive a monthly stipend from the 509 Education and Support Fund, in addition to the standard fee paid by the family. And now that stipend we actually do have an update, but I will let Alejandra go talk more about the stipend for the provider.
Yeah, so along with the pay via either the subsidy, the voucher, or private pay, we also offer a provider stipend. So for 1 child, it was currently $700, but as of today, we just wanted to change that rate to $800. So as you can see here in the example, for 1 child, it would be $800 or $700 in here, but it would be $800. And for each additional child, it would be $400 instead of this $350. So this is currently our stipend for providers interested in joining the pilot program. And like I said, this is in addition to the payment that you receive from the subsidy or the private pay of the family. So this is a separate amount of money. It is not just your base pay for the child. This is in addition to, so it is a stipend to go along with it.
And along with, so that's the provider side. So we do have scholarships for families on the family portion of it. So we are planning, so we're planning to start this, the scholarship program. And so we would cover around $100 per week per child. And it would be that would be the tuition discount. So for example, if the private pay rate is $400 per week and the family is able to pay $300 to the provider, SEIU ESF pays the scholarship, pays the $100 to the provider part of the scholarship at the end of the month, along with the stipend and your as Alejandra mentioned earlier. And so for parents, we do encourage them to have vouchers. So this is if they are unable to obtain a voucher, or even if they have a voucher and they're still unable to make ends meet. So for the provider, the licenses and regulation portion of it, and I'll let Alejandra go explain more on this.
Yeah, so this is a solution that we found along with EEC, which is that there's a variance that can be put on your license, and this variance would allow you to work longer hours so that you wouldn't run into the issue of, as you know, that there's a limit of the number of hours you work. This would allow you to work longer hours in order to let children into your programs at 5 a.m. or 5:30 in the morning. So there's a variance process, and Santiago Rivera, who's our organizer, he's the direct contact for everyone that wants to sign up to be in the pilot. He would walk you through the process of getting the variance. We have a one-pager that you would send to your licensor, and then from there, your licensor would approve the variance request. Just basically, it's a change to your license saying that you now work, it literally is just a variance that says you work longer hours or non-standard hours. So it's a very simple thing, but as we know, licensors sometimes take a bit of time, but we walk you through the process in getting that license changed so that you can offer these longer hours.
And so if you are interested and you are able to start at 5:30 in the morning and can work out with the variances, your next step would be to contact either myself, Helen Barrios at Building Pathways, or Helen at buildingpathwaysma.org. You can call me, text me. I also have WhatsApp because I am aware that that is a very great way to connect. And at SEIU 509, your contact would be Santiago Rivera. His email is rivera@seiu509.org. His phone number is 857-385-6870, and he is also on WhatsApp. We understand that there are different ways you prefer to communicate, and we can meet you where that makes sense. And if you're interested in meeting us and asking us questions in person, we do have a job and childcare career fair coming up on March 25th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We'll be at the Reggie Lewis Center, and myself, Alejandra, and Santiago will be there, and we'll have some face painting where you can bring your kids if you do have them, just to come and check out the resources that we'll be offering as well. We would love to open the space up for any questions and comments. I'm sure there are questions.
Hi, Helen. There's someone here who I guess they can't hear. Could we verify if everyone is in the right channels, please?
I see that Ramona wrote, hola, no escucho nada. Ramona, ¿está en un celular o en iPad? Uy, no va a escuchar. Okay. I'll write to her on the chat. And could we stop the sharing for questions? Yes. Thank you very much. So I will actually read a question that they put on the chat. What about non-traditional hours in the afternoon? Does that count?
Yes. So, sorry, Helen, I know I cut you off, but yes, we do have variations in that parents are looking for early hours in the morning, and some will also be looking for the afternoon. We're also, if you are aware of like a family that might potentially, we do have some qualifications in terms of the types of jobs we're looking for the families to come from. But if they, like perhaps this is an example, work in construction or are in a trade program or are like a paraprofessional, those are families that we're looking to get into the program to assist to make sure that they have childcare. And so if you might have a family that could fit those qualifications, I'd ask you to reach out to Santiago or Helen so that we could see if they're a match and that you'd be a match for our pilot program. So the answer is yes, in the afternoons as well as overnights. But currently the need that we've seen the most from the parents filling out the form are in the morning. But if we see other families needing afternoons or evenings, then we'll look for that as well.
There is another question. Can the same educator work the extended hours?
Yes, because of the variance change, you'd be allowed to work more hours than you would traditionally be able to work. So that's why we need to get that variance, because it just says that you'll be working. From what we've seen in the research we've done, you wouldn't be working more than 12 hours, but obviously because of the regulation is 10, we need that variance request so that if you do work that full complete 12, it is fine under EEC's regulations.
Do you have to have a certain amount of children to be part of the program?
No, one child, so as we mentioned, one child will be your base at $800, and then any additional child will be $400. So there is no minimum of children in the pilot.
Do the hours have to be 5 a.m. only, or could it be 6 a.m.?
It could be 6, yes. So we're looking for providers that are opening between 5 and I guess 7 a.m. A lot of our parents work in the building trades where they have to be at the work site by 6 a.m. or by 7. And so they need to drop off their child before so that they can get to their work site. So it all really depends on the demand, but yes, we do accept 5 or 6 a.m.
I'm sorry, I have a question. When you say 5 a.m., 5 till what time can the child be at the program?
Good question.
So it depends on the work schedule of the parent. As Alejandra mentioned, there is that 10-hour time frame, but with the variant, you are able to work the 12 hours. But as I mentioned, it depends on the parent's work schedule.
Hello. I think the question was, is the child going to be like from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. or it has to be a full-time or part-time? I mean, it's like we have to have that spot available for that child, even in his early.
So if I'm understanding the question, the child would be dropped off by the parent early in the morning, and then they would be picked up by the end of the workday for the parent. So that is usually around 3 or 4 p.m., depending on what their schedule is. Did I answer that question?
Helen, I can add a little something in there. So basically, it depends on the schedule of the families that you guys accept. So you're not forced to accept the families, but everyone has different schedules. So it depends really. You might get a family that says 2 p.m. You might get a family member that says 4 p.m. Then that's up to you if it works or not. Basically, right? Does that help a little bit?
I have a question. I think what it is that we're asking is that child going to be considered a daycare part of your numbers in daycare? So if the child is, are you securing a slot in the daycare for that child? That's what we're asking, because everybody's licensed for a certain amount of children. So we accepting that child, is that going to be considered part of the daycare? How many children we're allowed to have? That was my question. Is that what you're asking, Chu?
That was my next question.
Okay.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I can take that.
Okay.
It would be considered part of the number. If you're licensed for 6 or 10, they would be a part of that number. Some of the families within the program, some of the families that we do have within our program are have subsidies, have vouchers, so they would be a part of it, and they would have to obviously register. If you have a system, go with your system and go through that entire process. So it wouldn't be that dissimilar from your current children that are in your program. They would just arrive earlier, and we would be giving you a stipend for accepting them earlier.
One more question. So let's say if you are willing to do that and have the slot, but your slots aren't going to be available till the end of the summer, are you still able to join the program, knowing that you, right as today, you wouldn't have the slot, but you will have the slots available at the end of the at the end of the month on August? Can you still join, or do you have to wait and then join when you actually have the slots, or what?
You can absolutely, so we can get you all into the process and all in the system and our back end, so that when you do have a slot, you just have to call us and tell us, or in advance, hopefully, just give us a call and say, hey, I have a slot or 2 opening up. I'm willing to take a child from this time to this time, and we'll make note of that and start trying to find families. Helen will find.
Okay, thank you. That answers my question.
Perfect. Yeah, we do have a contract, and we have a W-9 and other information that we would need filled out before. So that's why it'd be good to get it done in advance of the time period. Yeah.
I see that Priscila Toledo has her hand up. Priscila, ¿quiere preguntar? Está en mute, Priscila.
Disculpe. Sí.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I have a question. 2 questions, actually. One is, I'm not clear about the schedule. I have kids from 3 a.m. to 5 p.m. That kid qualifies, or does he need to start earlier than 7 a.m. to be able to qualify?
So I'll just translate quickly for the English speakers. She's asking if she already has a student that starts at 7 a.m. Does that student qualify for the program, or do they need to start before 7 a.m. to qualify?
That's a great question. It really depends on we would have to see how what job the parent has. So it would have to be a I guess there's more to it than a yes or no. Ideally, we would love to discuss more and kind of talk about it. It is a little more of a base by base situation where it depends on like the parent's career and their need for childcare, and is it a job where usually there is no childcare provided that early in the morning. But usually we do like to stick before 7 a.m. as most providers don't open before then.
Just one more thing I would add along to that. The purpose of the...
Tengo otra pregunta. Eran 2 preguntas, disculpe.
I have another question, sorry. Regarding the money. For example, if the voucher pays $300 for full-time, would you pay $100 additional over that amount? Is that the benefit that we're gonna have?
Paula, do you want to translate before I answer?
Yeah, apparently if providers are in the interpretation and they select English, they can hear the questions translated. So I would, I just learned that. They let me know via the chat. So if you select English in the globe, you'll hear the questions translated.
Thank you.
Yep.
Alejandra, do you want to say what you weren't able to add on?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate. So the purpose of the Care That Works, our pilot program, is to assist particularly single mothers looking to get into the trades, as well as just families that are in need of childcare. So that's particularly our focus, is especially people going into the Building Pathways program, which is a trade preparation program, or people currently in a trade. So construction, carpentry, any of the other tens of thousands of unions that we have in the city. We also have other classifications of what jobs are. And if you reach out to Helen or Santiago, we can go over that more in depth. But I just wanted to reiterate that that's the point of our pilot. And there might be some jobs that you have families that you're currently maybe opening earlier for, or such that might work under our frame. But I just wanted to reiterate that this is where we're looking to match families that are looking for childcare that are under these specific jobs and classifications.
Thank you, Alejandra. And I'll answer the pay question. So on top of the voucher that you would receive from the state, the pilot, if you are opening early for a child that qualifies to be in the pilot, you get an additional $800 per month for your first child. If you have another child within that you open that you comes to you and is part of the pilot, that's an additional $400. And then for another child, $400. So your first child, you start with an additional $800 with the voucher. And then, for every other child that joins your care, it would be an additional $400.
Renica, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, I have been, I've been signed up with the program for a few months now. However, I'm stuck because I don't have, I don't know the process to get linked up with families, because apparently you guys said you have families who are in need, but since I've been, got my license with the variance on it, I haven't been contacted with families. So I'm trying to understand the rest of the process. Or how we linked up with these families in need.
Thank you, Renica. I would like to clarify, if you have been signed up, I started in the role in November, and no one has been in my role previously since early last year. So our pilot program has been a little bit on hold because we were understaffed. So if you have been in there, I definitely encourage you to reach out, just because we're still trying to catch up from the months that we have been on hold. So I apologize that we haven't been able to reach out to you, but definitely reach out again so that we can revisit where you are, and definitely would love to hear your availability and how many spots you have. So thank you, Renica.
I sent you an email already.
Perfect, thank you.
And I just want to say that she has been in touch, and I appreciate your patience, because she has reached out a couple of times, asking like, hey, what's going on? So thank you, because you have done everything on your end. So we'll be in touch.
Cindy, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, hello. Cindy Ferralo here. The question I have, in terms of my understanding is it a max amount of hours? Like, is the max amount of hours 12 hours? Or is longer than that? In terms for the amount of care you can provide in terms of hours?
Yeah, Alejandro, Santiago.
So the way that we kind of did the math on the number, like how long a child would be there, we thought that 12 hours pretty much be the max. And that's what we kind of wrote into the variance request. Now, if a family does need a bit longer, I believe the variance does allow you to stay open a little longer. I think you might need an assistant after that point, just because 12 hours is already a massive amount of time. But 12 is what we wrote in as what would be kind of the standard, or like the most you would be working with a family.
Okay, thank you very much.
I don't know who iPhone is, but iPhone has their hand up.
Sí, María Otaño.
Soy María. My question is there a limit of educators to start the pilot How many educators can we have for the pilot program?
So the pilot program is going and there is no limit. We would love to have as many providers as possible. So because the need is there on the parent side, but we haven't had, as I said, we were understaffed. So we're catching up now, and we would love to have a large pool of providers so that when the influx of parents come in, we have a network to guide them to.
And I will just, another thing to add is that our focus is the Boston area, but if you are in like the Chelsea, Revere, Brockton, just outside of the greater Boston area, there is some flexibility that we have as the pilot to serve parents within those communities as well as providers. So if you have other educator friends that are interested in joining the pilot, please send them to Santiago or Helen so that we can get them involved. Our focus is in Boston, but we do know that there is a need on the greater Boston area. So just wanted to highlight that.
Isla.
Gracias.
Veo que alzó la mano Isla Valentín.
I see that Isla raised her hand. No? Okay, I'll pass it to Isabel Barros. I see that you have a question.
Hi, everyone. My question is, last week I have one parent call me. She asked me to the before school program if I take her baby about 6 o'clock. She's a school age, 4 years old. She's in school, but she said she started work early. She needed before school and after school. That program is be qualified or no?
So it depends on, so at the moment we're focused on parents that are in the building trades or trying to get into a trade job, especially single parents. But it sounds like she would qualify, and I would definitely recommend to reach out to us so that we can talk about it further.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ilsa, ahora sí. Veo que
Ilsa, I see your hand is raised, but you're on mute.
No sé si me escucha.
I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Hoy no se puede.
Mi pregunta es que
My question is if the parents that are in the program can qualify for the pilot program, because I have some parents that sometimes I have to get their kids at 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m. And if they can apply for this program, that's what I want to know.
So I definitely encourage you to reach out to us so that we can talk about it and see if the parents are in a building trade or in a union job, so that we can bring them into the pilot program or support you as the provider in the pilot program.
Okay. Oh, muchas gracias.
Thank you so much.
Cata, veo que tienes tu mano arriba.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so my question is, do you guys have a list of the jobs that qualify for this program, or a handout or a kind of information that we can give to parents to see if they qualify or no, so they can reach out to you? Because most of us, I don't know, I'm full on the spots, but if I can send this information to parents, I think some of them are qualified, and that will be a big help for them. And I'm very interested to get into the program, so it's like a win-win for both parts and do it more quickly.
Yeah, so definitely direct them to carethatworks.org. I will put it in the chat, and there they can learn more about the program and see if they would qualify for it. We also have an interest form there that they can fill out. But as for a list, that is something that we can go back and work on and have more information for the providers on that end.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ariane, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, yes, I do. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to ask two quick questions. What if I already have like two children who already start coming to me like before 7 o'clock in the morning, and the parents, they're looking for maybe like 6:30. Would that be would those parents be qualified? And one of my parents, she works in a nursing home, so I'm not sure if that's a job that would be qualified.
Yeah, so it would be a question to talk to the parent and see how they're doing their career, and if they're part of a union. And if you have kids in your care that you already are opening up early for them, definitely reach out and tell us more about the parent and their job, and we'll see if it does qualify. But ideally, we would want you to have slots open for parents that are looking for childcare. So yes, we want to support you if you're already opening up early for families that are in need of care, but ideally we would like to have a provider that has availability for new families to come in, so that we can have you as a provider that we can guide them to.
Okay. And what if the child usually comes on a school bus? How would that work? Like the school bus through the agency that the agency provides, and that parent would want to change their hours to come much earlier, like 6 or 6:30. How would that work?
That would be something that you would work out with the parent. We do the matching part of it. We don't work with the transportation part of it for right now. So
Okay.
transportation would be something you work out with the family.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Crisleri Cordero, I see you have your hand up.
Aquí. Bueno, voy a hablar en inglés un poquito, a ver si me pueden entender. Good night. So, do you guys have the families already, or I need to find the family with the voucher?
No, so so the way that the pilot program works is that we do recruiting on the provider side, and then we also do recruiting on the family side. So we hear a family of a single parent that is trying to find a new career, get into a building trade or any other union job, but they're having a hard time finding the childcare that will support them through that program, because usually these jobs start really early and providers aren't open that early. So what we do is we have these parents reach out to us. They tell us, hey, I am trying to get into this. I want to change careers. I want to get into the plumbers union, but I need to do an apprenticeship, and they start at 5 in the morning and I can't find childcare. So then I look at our list of providers, and I send the family a list of providers that match their needs, whether it's in the same neighborhood, in the same hours that they're looking for, and providers that have availability. So then that parent will reach out to you as a provider and get to know you and see if it is a good match. So ideally, you would be on our list of providers that have availability. And when we have a parent that matches your schedule, or it looks like a good fit, I will direct them to you, and you will start and communicate with that family to see if it's a good match. And however many slots you have is how many families will be sent, or will have you kind of do the outreach portion of it.
Okay, thank you. I am the new program right now. My license is the sixth child, so I had 3 already. So see, I go to the program, so the other 3 come to usually like 5:30, like that.
Yeah, so if you go through the process of getting into the pilot program, reach out to either me or Santiago, and we will help you through the process of getting your variance. And then once you have the 3 slots, we'll guide parents that are looking for providers in your area towards you. And if it works, then they will go to your care.
Okay, thank you.
Ya va.
Altagracia Valdés. Veo que tiene la mano alzada.
Ok, mi pregunta es, yo
Okay,
tengo
my
4.
question is, I have 4 kids that start at 6:30 a.m. and I want to know if the parents work at Boston Public Schools. Would they qualify for the program?
I was about to start speaking in Spanish.
They pay private.
We are focusing on the building trades and single parents that are currently looking for care. So ideally, we would want to have a provider that has availability for new children in their care. However, again, if you think that you have a parent that qualifies for your program, please reach out to us so that we can see if it is a good match with the pilot.
Ok, gracias.
Thank you.
Yes, my question is, according to say you have a parent who come in, you all agree, say they did the max out the 12 hours, and that was the agreed upon time, the 12 hours, right? And are you able to assess a late fee if the hours late after that, or after those extended 12 hours, they already had agreed upon that they would finish work on time for the 12 hours? Can you assess a late fee, or because you're receiving the money already, you can't?
Helen, I can take this. So this would be like any family, especially like a private pay family. You can set your own policies when it comes to your program. So if you would like to set a late fee for a family, that is fully up to you, because we're respecting the fact that you are a small business and that this is your own program. So if you believe like it is necessary to have a late fee or a late fee policy, that is fully within your range to have one.
All right, thank you.
I just want to check if there's questions in the chat that we... Oh, okay. iPhone raised their hand. I don't know who iPhone is again. If you can ask your
Sí,
question.
es María Otaño de nuevo.
Perfecto. Vamos.
It's Maria again. We value everything that we're doing for us. We feel your support. We really feel it. And I would like for you to consider to communicate to the Department of Education that the program that you are opening, so they can analyze this moment. There are so many licenses. Not the scientists, they're very busy sometimes. Some educators, we have to visit them. It sounds simple, but they fall in that situation. So the Department of Education has to know that the program that you currently have, it's working. They need to know. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for that. And that's something that we want to continue to highlight. It's something that we want EEC as well as the state to pay attention to, is the need for non-standard hour care, not just in Boston, but across the state. And this is a bit of a tangent, but the Common Start piece of legislation that is around, and there's going to be a lobby day for it next week, has a small piece on encouraging EEC to take a stand and do more with non-standard hours. And so this is something from the Care That Works side, as well as the 509 union side, that we're encouraging and making note of to EEC that there is a need And EEC also acknowledges what they do, that there is a need as well. So that's why we need these pilot programs to show just how much the need is there, and that there are educators that are willing to open earlier and willing to have families in their programs.
Thank you. That is very important. Gracias, María, por traer eso, porque sí es sumamente importante. ¿Alguien más tiene preguntas, dudas? Anybody else has questions, doubts? We will be sharing the presentation, the link with the recording, and I will create a frequently asked questions document as I created with the space grant. So if you feel that your questions were not answered, or you still have doubts, you can go back to that document, and we will also add Helen's information and Santiago's information and the web page's information, so you can go back there.
Yo tengo una pregunta.
Sí, Esmina.
I have a question. I wanted to know how and when can we start the process?
So reach out to us, either myself or Santiago, and essentially, as Alejandra said, it's getting the variance request started so that you have enough time, or your licensor can sign off on that, and then we can start. You'll be in the pilot program, and then we'll assess our needs for the families that reach out to us, and we'll get in touch with you when there is a good fit. And I would also like to invite everyone to our job and childcare fair, which is a great event for providers to come and learn more or ask us questions in person. That's on Saturday, March 25th at the Reggie Lewis Center from 10 to 2 p.m. And we do have a flyer that we can send to Paula and have that shared with everyone. And we have that in English and in Spanish.
¿Hasta qué hora ustedes están disponibles durante el día para hablar?
What time are you available during the day in the case that we want to communicate with you?
So I can definitely set up some time to meet with you at the time that works for you. That's my schedule. I can let Santiago speak on his behalf.
Yeah, absolutely.
¿Podrían mandar el número de
I'm sorry. Could you please send the phone number so we can get in contact with you?
El número ahí. Basically, if anybody is interested in the program, I have put my name and my contact information in the chat. I will do it again a couple of times before we go. But the process is very simple. We'll have you fill out a couple of forms, upload one to your EEC portal. Once you have that updated variance, your updated license that says that you have extended hours, then we can move forward. So it takes a couple of weeks, but the sooner the better. So if you can reach out now, even if you don't have space right now, but you think you'll have space, we can put you on a waiting list. But that way we have your information and your paperwork ready. So I'll put my information down there. I'll try to grab Helen's as well. And I'll add everyone's information in the chat room so you guys can reach us out if you have any other questions, or if you're just ready to move forward, and we can send you over those documents.
I will go ahead and add my contact in the chat as well. Thank you, Santiago.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hello. So would it need to be from 5 a.m. to what time in the evening?
It depends on the family's need. So it's more of like a family is in need of childcare, let's say, to drop off their kid at 6:15 in the morning. I'll see who the provider on the list. I'll look through and see who is open at that time, whether you open at 6 or 6:05, but you're open by 6:15. I'll reach out to you and I'll let you know, hey, there's a family that is interested, and they will be reaching out, and then it'll see if it's a good match. And then you two, depending on the the parent work schedule, that's how long the child will be with you. And that will be up to you and the family. It's the opening up early for this parent that is the pilot portion of it.
¿Alguna otra duda, pregunta? Tenemos todavía 10 minutos más.
Una preguntita.
Sí, buena tarde.
Yeah, I have a question.
Primero Francia y
Let's
luego
see.
Nereida.
Francia first and then Nereida.
Francia, su pregunta.
Thank you.
Sí, gracias por...
Thank you for giving me the word. What I want to know is for qualifying parents, for them to get into the program, should they call the office or get in contact with you guys?
Sorry. Definitely have them call us, contact us through the carethatworks.org website or our email or phone number. And we would ideally really want you to have more available, like more slots available for incoming parents. But it all really depends on the parent and what they do for a living and their situation. So definitely get in touch with us.
Ok, gracias.
Nereida.
Sí, buena tarde. La
Good
pregunta
afternoon. My question is, I know you say that to be able to open in the morning before like at 6 a.m. I haven't heard about the hours. You say that it depends from the parents, but there are parents who have their own schedules. One parent has one schedule, one parent has another schedule. So we need to establish a schedule. As Alejandra said, you are the owner of the business, and to start, the law does not allow you to open for more than 12 hours. So I hope that parents do not abuse of that. But if you say, I receive the kids at 5 a.m. as a maximum, they can get their kids at 5 p.m. You can put the rules. You can put a late fee if someone left their kid there, you know. Excellent. Okay. I didn't understand. So that means that I will keep my work schedule, right? I will keep working 12 hours. It's just that I'm going to start earlier. I thought that you already had, yeah, if it depends on me, that's excellent. But I thought if it depends on you, maybe not. It's case to case, as Ellen and Alejandra said. And yeah, we have to check the parents' profession and career, if they qualify in the qualifying jobs. But number one, we don't want anyone violating the law. The law is very clear regarding schedules. We just want to look how to extend that schedule. But once it's longer, it doesn't mean that you're going to be working from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. No, don't do it, please, for your own health, but because it's unlawful.
You are right on the point. Thank you.
And one thing I just will reiterate, a comment that I saw in the chat from Lena. Would Everett and Malden qualify? If you're a provider, yes. So we're looking for providers from Greater Boston and Greater Boston. So Greater Boston typically means like Everett, Revere, Chelsea. For us, we're also qualifying like Brockton because we do have some families from that area. So there are certain areas that will loop around the city of Boston. The focus is Boston, but if you're an educator from the Everett or Malden area, we will accept you into the pilot. If you're a family, we'll look into it. Our focus, like I said, is the city of Boston, but we make exemptions for families depending on need and their circumstances. So yes, to providers and families from the greater Boston area, but that is obviously limited. Like it's not we're not going to Framingham. It's just like.
Any other comments, questions? There's still 5 more minutes that we have Helen, Alejandra, and Santiago here with us. But remember, we will be sharing everything. So if for some reason we finish and you're like, oh no, I just remembered this great question, you can always send any of us an email. Go to the website, whatever works for you, and we will answer that question. So I see everybody nodding, thumbs up. I think everybody deserves 2 minutes, 4 minutes back of their very long day working with children. Thank you all for taking care of children. It's a job. So I would like to thank Helen, Alejandra, and Santiago for joining us today. This is amazing. Farah for putting this together. It's the first Zoom we do all by ourselves, and it went great. And our 2 amazing interpreters. And of course, everybody. Oh, Maria, another question. Go, yes, you still have.
You have another question? Maria?
Está en mute, sí.
No tengo más preguntas. Muchas gracias.
No, I don't have any other question.
Bueno.
Okay.
Maybe they wanted to put a thumbs up. I don't know. Well, good night, everyone. Buenas noches a todos.
Good night. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you for the information.
Thank you so much.
Buenas noches, ahí hablamos.
Buenas noches, gracias por todo.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Hi, Andrew.
Thank you so much. Thank
I
you.
see you.
Have a good one. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Good night.
Thank
you. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Have a good evening.
Bye. This was very successful. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Paula.
Adios. Gracias.
Adios.
I'm going to end the Zoom now.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.